this is Diane Lee from Teach Pre-K, and I will be starting my fourth week of school on Tuesday. It is Labor Day weekend, and if some of you have been teaching for a week or two or three already, sometimes after a long weekend is a really good time for you to do kind of a review or a reset, and start from scratch that first day. And well, maybe not from scratch, but really start reinforcing the procedures that they have understood the first couple of weeks, but they're starting to feel super comfortable with you and super comfortable with being in school. So they might be trying to see how far they can push things. I know that the third and fourth week of school for me have historically always been the time where the kids, want to see if I'm going to react the same way every single time something happens. If I am going to reinforce my rules, if my rules mean all the time or just sometimes, it's really no different than it is for them at home, especially if they are like get a new babysitter or a new nanny, or mom and dad have been gone out of town for a while or whatever. So I know that I'm going to come back on Tuesday, and I was thinking about the areas of my day that I want to do just like a little reset on, like a little, they understand the procedures, but I think I need to make things even more clear going forward. So this will be just fantastic for the rest of the year. And the one way that I want to switch things up is through my transition of lining up for either going outside to play or going to the library. So, normally, before I line the kids up, we regroup on our rug. It's usually after center time or after our like morning work time, which I call my mini center time. And we come to the rug and we practice, how we're paying attention to our teachers and everything else on the rug. And they know at this point that when they come to the rug, we are sitting up on our pockets, our hands are in our lap, we're not touching to our friends, and it's time to listen to what your teacher has to say. And there might be some, sharing time, some participation, so it's not like completely silent kid time, but it's time that you listen for what comes next, because it's our kind of our like almost our little transition launching pad, if you will, is our rug. So when I line the kids up, I make sure that we're all ready to go. So we're all sitting and paying attention. And I can do that through a couple different songs that I use just to get them to realize where their body is in space, get their hands in their lap and be ready to go. Or finger plays like open them, shut them, give a little clap, 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 open them, shut them, put them in your lap. Of course, I do it slower, but that always gets them going. So even if they're chatting a little bit amongst each other during the transition to the rug, I can usually bring them back in and have them listening by doing something like that. Now, last year that didn't work at all, so I hope you're not having a year like that, because whoa, that was rough. But so I get them paying attention, and then I tell them what's coming next. I can look at our visual schedule and show them where we are in our day, or I can just say, we're finished with center, so now we are going to line up to go outside. When I call your name, I need you to go to the line, put your feet on the mermaid line. My line is a physical tape line. The tape looks like a mermaid's tail. So it's my mermaid line. It's had monsters on it before, and it's been my monster line, just whatever it is. My room is really small. So I don't have room for like little dots on the floor to make sure that they have space between each other so they're not touching each other. So I have to use a verbal cue. Your feet are on the line, you're facing the way your feet are going, your eyes and your feet are going the same direction. Any little combination of words like that, and you are not touching friends. Put a bubble in your mouth and be ready to go. So I will call my line leader first, and they know their position is at the front of the line by the door holder a second, right behind the line leader. And our caboose goes to the very end. And sometimes I remind them of that on the way. And if they do a really good job lining up and are super quiet, I might say, oh my gosh, did you see the way that Sharon just lined up? She did not talk to anyone. Her hands are to herself. Thank you so much, Sharon. Thank you for that big bubble. And then I will call their other names or I will sing their other names. I use the same tune for almost everything. So I will sing like, if your name is Johnny, go line up. If your name is Mary, go line up. If your name is Penelope, if your name is Silas, if your name is Rutger, go line up. And I try to compliment them on the way if they are, excuse me, not touching friends, and have their feet on the line. And it seems to make the other kids want to do the same thing. They hear that positive reinforcement and they want it too. So then I'll be like, oh my gosh, Silas, you did it just like Johnny did, or Mary, or whoever, that I just gave a compliment to. And then I get all of them lined up. And if they're being noisy and rambunctious, I give them a reminder that we are quiet in the line. We're not touching our friends if they can't even hear me. Sometimes, you guys, especially at this point of the year where we're still learning, but we need reminders, I might have the entire line go back to the rug and we'll start over. And I'll tell them we had to go back because you guys weren't ready when we got to our tape line. If they are all standing ready to go, but just a few people are talking, I'll start to sing, when the line is quiet, we will go. When the line is quiet, we will go. We are quiet in our line, and your eyes should be on mine. And then they start turning around, paying attention, catching a bubble in their mouth, all that stuff, and we are ready to go. I will do that whole process every single time we line up. We want to be quiet after we leave our room. There's other classes going on. We have to go down a hall and up some stairs. So a lot of times I'll just say, okay, put a bubble in your mouth, and we're going to put our cloud shoes on today. And I'm going to see if we can make it up the stairs with no one hearing us. I'm going to see if I can make my feet so quiet that you can't hear my feet. A lot of times a good thing to do will be, I bet you can't make your feet that quiet. And then as we go up, if I can tell that they're really trying and I hardly hear anything, I turn around and go, oh my gosh, I thought you all left because I didn't hear a sound. You guys are amazing. And I'll do that a couple of times as we're walking through the hall or up the stairs until we get to the top. My door holder holds the door and all the kids start filing out outside, and I open the playground gate and we go play. Then we will do the same thing, lining up for coming back in, but I don't call names. I'll just say Mrs. Lee's class, line up, or I'll blow a whistle. My whistle broke last year, so I haven't had a whistle these first 3 weeks. Ordered some new whistles. I'll have my whistles when we come back on Tuesday, so the whistles are going to kind of be a new thing. So I will blow it and say, this is Mrs. Lee's whistle. When you hear this sound, we have a line outside as well that they know that they need to line up at. I need my door holder, my line leader, and my caboose in their spots. And remember those cloud feet and that bubble in your mouth. Let's see if we can be perfectly quiet on our way back in. And then they know when they come in, they come sit on the rug, getting ready for our next transition, which we sit on the rug, we have a story, and then we transition into snack time. I will position myself at the door. I'll give them a little pat on the head on the way in and say, go to the rug, go to the rug. It's really cute. They know I'm going to give them a pat on the head, so they start ducking, and it's really cute. Then I'll pat their head on my way in or something and say, gotcha, or whatever. Just keeping it light and playful, but still we're following a procedure. We are doing the things that we were taught to do the first week of school every day during the week. We're reinforcing all those things. We've had a nice little break. My 3-year-olds have had a 4-day break. My 4-year-olds have had a 3-day break. So it's just getting back into the swing of how things should go. And I like to do a little reset after any break, especially the long breaks. Winter break is 2 weeks long. we start almost from square one and we review how to do every single thing. Um, but these long weekends, it's a good time to reset and reinforce the behaviors you want to see during transitions. So, lining up is the one I'm going to be working on this week. If you've been in school for a while, and you start back on Tuesday, I want you to think about what is the one area that I just kind of want to get those procedures down again and work every day this week, those 3 or 4 days that you've got for the rest of this week to do that reset and to reinforce all those great behaviors. And then if you had success, find another one in the next couple of days to start working on and kind of start from square one and get them used to the procedure again. Get your vocabulary really solid and your procedure really solid. Because sometimes when we're working with little kids, we get to a point where we go, oh, they did it, we're fine. But they do need those reminders. And yes, we are grateful when they actually do even 1/2 to 3/4 of the things we're telling them to do. But just do that for yourself and for your class, and just to give yourself a better year so you can enjoy being with those kids, because that's what this is all about. At least that's what it's about for me. I want to enjoy my time with the kids. I want to cut down on the Mrs. Lee needing to work on classroom management and do classroom management reminders all the time. I want to have a few really good solid reminders at the beginning of the year so that the classroom management just flows. But of course, you guys, it's a day to day thing. So give yourself grace. But again, get those procedures down so that you can just continue on with the fabulous year, which I hope you're having. If you haven't started yet, use this as a reminder on how to start your year teaching all those procedures. And you are allowed to do a reset anytime you want or you feel like your kids need it. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you've had a great Labor Day weekend and continue.